Hello, I'm Simon Whistler. You're watching the Today I Found Out YouTube channel, and in the video today we're answering a viewer question. Matthew B asks, is it true that drinking gasoline will make you go blind? And if you've got a question for us, please do leave it in the comment section below. The simple answer is probably not, although there is anecdotal evidence that shows it has a strong correlation with stupidity. What it may do is cause vomiting, vertigo, confusion, drowsiness, breathing difficulties, burning in the esophagus, sore throat, weakness, and diarrhea, even when ingested in small amounts. In large portions, it can cause loss of consciousness, internal hemorrhaging, convulsions, and death from circulatory failure or damage to the vital organs. To address the question at hand a little more specifically, although vision loss is a potential symptom of gasoline poisoning, complete vision loss doesn't appear to be a common consequence for those who ingest it, unlike many of the other aforementioned symptoms. Although I suppose you could say that when you die you will experience complete vision loss, so in that sense, yes, drinking gasoline does cause you to go permanently blind. I just thought I'd head that off now because someone would definitely mention it in the comments. And just for reference, it doesn't take much swallowed gasoline to kill you. Just half an ounce can cause severe intoxication for adults and even death for small children. A 12-ounce drink of gasoline will often be fatal to most humans. Despite these dangers, however, a brave few have overcome their rational fear of gasoline's toxicity and instead developed a powerful addiction to petrol. In 2011, it was reported that 71-year-old Chen Dejun of Chongqing, China, had been drinking gasoline for over 40 years. According to one report, in 1969, when Chen picked up his habit based on a folk remedy, kerosene was the elixir of choice. Adapting to the times, however, he later switched to gasoline, and in 2011 he was supposedly imbibing nearly 1 gallon each month, which is about 4 ounces per day. A couple of years earlier, it was reported that a 14-year-old boy from the Sichuan province in China was struggling with a 5-year habit. Born from a desire to turn into a transformer, the boy's addiction began with drinking the butane out of cigarette lighters, but soon progressed into siphoning gasoline from the family's motorcycle and sipping on that. Although the family claim that the boy's habit is up to nearly 3 quarts a day, experts highly doubt that claim. Regardless of the amount, though, the addiction has had a devastating effect on the child, who before the habit was a very smart boy, but now he doesn't even know 7 plus 17. More recently, a 45-year-old UK man, Brian Taylor, was arrested for drinking petrol despite the fact that he was under an antisocial behavior order prohibiting him from going near gasoline pumps. Apparently his first gasolated run-in with the authorities happened in 2005 when he was found to have stolen fuel 51 times to drink, after which, bug-eyed and ruddy-faced, he would dance a little jig while high on the fumes. And if you're wondering what it tastes like, in 2012, one episode of TLC's My Strange Addiction told the story of 20-year-old Shannon, who drank up to 2 ounces each day. Describing the flavor as sweet and sour, like a tangy sauce, Sharon also noted that although it burns the back of her throat, it also makes her feel good. Of course, not everyone who drinks gasoline does it on purpose, although that doesn't mean they don't have to pay a heavy price. In February of 2012, 43-year-old Gary Allen Banning of Havelock, North Carolina, accidentally drank a bit of gasoline when he mistook a jar of liquid that was sitting out on his friend's counter for a palatable beverage. Wisely, he spat out much of what he had ingested. Unwisely, though, shortly after, he went outside, stuck a cigarette in his mouth and attempted to light it, at which point he burst into flames. You see, he hadn't changed his shirt and he had spilled gasoline all over it after he took his swig. Medics rushed him to the hospital and later to the UNC burn center, but due to the severity of the burns, he sadly died earlier the next day. And now for some bonus schadenfreude. For his valiant efforts to protect humanity's collective gene pool by sacrificing his life, Gary Allen Banning was nominated for a Darwin Award in 2012. And now for another bonus fact. Methanol, like gasoline, is also highly toxic, as one of Gary's fellow nominees in 2012 discovered. Employed as a truck washer for a Canadian liquor store chain, the nominee, hereinafter Vodka Bob, had developed a bad habit of stealing the hooch hidden by truck drivers in the cabs of their vehicles. On the fateful day, he discovered a vodka bottle, although it was filled with a light blue liquid. Somehow forgetting that washer fluid is often sometimes blue and kept in vehicles, Vodka Bob began swigging the toxic liquid. Seemingly, he never realized that the wiper fluid was not intended for human consumption because he kept ingesting it for the next 2 days. Ultimately, he died in the hospital from methanol poisoning. Weirder still, the 2007 Darwin Award winner was Texas Mike, an alcoholic who preferred rectal drinking, i.e. giving himself alcohol enemas. On the eve of his death, Mike poured more than 100 ounces of sherry right up the old address, a significant amount to imbibe over a long period of time, and when taken all at once, it caused Mike to pass out. However, because it was all still resting in his intestines, his body continued to rapidly absorb it. Consequently, he died from alcohol poisoning with a blood alcohol content of 0.47%. In response to this story, the kindly readers of the Darwin Awards posted many words of sympathy, including "takes shitface to a whole new level," "drunk off my ass," "rectum," "hell no, it killed him," "up the hatch," and "a drop never touched his lips." And if you're wondering, the same type of thing is why vaporized alcohol inhalation can be extremely dangerous. You can see our video on the good and the bad side of vaporizing and inhaling alcohol for more information on that. So, I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below, and don't forget to subscribe for brand new videos just like this every day of the week. Also, if you'd like to help us out, we do have a Patreon, which is where you can make a small and totally voluntary contribution to us at Today I Found Out. It helps us make all of these daily videos. You can just head to patreon.com/TodayIFoundOut for more information on that. We've also got loads of cool perks lined up, so it's not a one-way street. We give back when if you decide to become a Patreon. So do head over to patreon.com/TodayIFoundOut for more information about that, and thank you for watching.